So let's take a look at a few things you need to do in Geometry Sketchpad. We're going to first talk about constructing a line parallel to a given line. So here's our segment, and I need a point. And I want to highlight or select both the segment and the point. You can just do that to highlight them both, or click on them both. So I want to draw a line parallel to this given segment through this point. So they're both highlighted. I go to Construct, and I say Parallel Line. So let's say I wanted to construct a parallelogram. I would then probably connect those two points with a segment. So I can do Construct Segment. And then Control Z undoes things that happen that you don't want to have happen. So I just undid that since I had some random points show up there. Anyhow, I'd like to now construct a line through this point and parallel to this line. So I'm going to select those both. Here's the line and here's the point. And I'm going to construct a line parallel to that. And now to actually make this a parallelogram, I have to construct the point of intersection. So I select the two lines and I say intersection. And so now I have an actual parallelogram. But let's say that I actually wanted to not have these be lines, I wanted them to be segments. I can click on the 2 points and say construct segment. Do the same things over here, click on the 2 points to construct segment. And then if I actually want to hide these dotted lines, I can click on the 2 lines and do Control H to hide those. So now I have a parallelogram, and I can prove that it's a parallelogram. I can actually measure the lengths of segments by clicking on a segment. I can say measure length. If I want to measure an angle, I click on the 3 points that make up the angle, and I say measure the angle. So you can see how to construct parallel lines. So what about perpendicular lines? Well, let's say we wanted to construct a perpendicular line. And let's say we want to construct the actual perpendicular bisector. So I want it to be through this midpoint here. I could construct the midpoint on the segment. And then let's say I want to draw a line perpendicular to this segment through this point. I select both the point and the segment, and I say construct perpendicular line. So there we have a line perpendicular to the given segment at its midpoint. This might come in handy if you're the idea of a perpendicular construction, if you're working with perpendicular diagonals or right angles at the corners of your quadrilateral. Something else that might come in handy, let me select all these and delete what we have here, would be to do a reflection or a rotation. Let me show you another way we could construct a parallelogram. So at first you might not think that this is a parallelogram, and you're right, it's not, it's a triangle. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to construct a point at the midpoint, and then I'm going to select this as a center of rotation, and I'm going to rotate this triangle 180 degrees. And when I do that, notice it looks like we have a parallelogram, which we would. So you might want to actually play around with the rotation menu as well. So if you have any questions as you're working on the project, let me know and I will help you out.